What's up, guys? Now, today we'll be going over what I believe is the major reason that a lot of traders fail. Now, let me start off with a statistic 90% of traders fail. Again, 90% of traders fail. And one of the major reasons that a lot of traders fail is psychology. Now, think of it this way. Before, even in my own personal experience, how do you view trading? So let's talk about trading. So, do you have any experience with trading? That's one question, right? If not, okay, I'm pretty sure you've seen trading videos out there on social media. Now, rewind, putting myself in the same shoes, same thought. I'm rewinding to 3 years ago, about 3 years ago. And that's when I first started trading. And during the years of, I think, 2018 and 2019, there was this hype and this spike in trading on social media platforms. And there was the term Forex, right? Now, and which is why even after today, I still don't really like using the term Forex in the content that I make. And today you'll see why. Now, in this instance, you had a lot of people on social media, young people, and they talked about Forex like it was multi-level marketing because they had joined multi-level marketing companies where you had to join a group and then you pay like 250 or 150 a month, and then you go and find two other people, then they're under you, they pay their 250, you get part of the commission if they get two more people, right? So that's kind of building a pyramid scheme, right? Or pyramid. But so the idea that I was introduced to trading with was that, right? So, and for me, I've been a financial person studying finance like a lot, right? Not in school, but just by myself. So I knew schemes or like pyramid schemes when I saw them. So for me, I associated Forex with pyramid schemes, right? But that's not what Forex is. Forex, right? Foreign exchange. That's what it stands for. Now, what these people were doing, they were trying to make money off of people subscribing or joining to a team. But they never really showed that, hey, you can make money without that, without being part of or bring two people or whatever. Because people now, instead of focusing on trading, they were focusing on recruiting people to be under them so that they can get some commission. Now, stay with me, right? So that was my beginning, my intro to trading. So that's why I asked you, what do you know about trading, and when did you hear about trading? So I'm guessing if you're like me 3 years ago, maybe even for right now, you still view trading in that regard, which I think the people who were doing that way back, they did a big disservice. Because for me, I was interested, right? But knowing that this was associated, or the way it was being brought up was associated with pyramid schemes, right, it kept me off. And also, right, the blame is also on me as well because I did not do as much research. To then I would have found out that, hey, you don't have to be part of these groups to trade. You can trade on your own. But anyway, now fast forward 3 years later, I picked up, right, because a friend of mine brought me in, and when he was getting into it, I was like, oh, hey man, be careful, because I've heard stuff about Forex and all of that. So he got in, he was trading by himself, he was making money, so he used to send me screenshots. And I was like, okay, you're making money, let me give you, because I was still not yet convinced. So I was like, hey, I'll give you my own money and you can give me some return. It was like, no, we will do this together. Keep in mind, keyword, we will do this together, right? So this is somebody who, I'm not going to give you a fish, right? Teach a man how to fish and you'll feed him, or you'll feed the whole village. So this friend of mine told me, hey, no, we have to do this together, because if we are learning collectively, right? And that's the idea. If you think of what we're doing at GA Trading Club, it's just giving that community right there, because a lot of people are out there, they don't have any knowledge or any ideas, or the knowledge they have about trading is like the example I just gave you guys right now, which also, right, I suffered from. And look at me. 3 years later, here I am making a video about that experience. So this friend of mine told me, "Hey, you gotta come in. We will do this together." And I was like, okay. So I jumped in and I was like, hey, look, we don't need to be recruiting people. No, you can do this by your own. And as we say, the rest is history. 3 years later, here I am, a consistently profitable trader. And the idea here is if we work together, now it doesn't matter. You don't have to be part of GA Trading Club, but just find something. Find somebody who's objective with the truth. Somebody who's telling you things as they are, not as they would want to see them. And that's one way that you can start your journey and learning about trading. Now, again, we're coming to the psychology part. So you can see how my psychology, right, was affected in regards to trading. Now, 90%, keep in mind, 90% fail. 90% of traders fail. So a good amount, right, can be associated with how trading is portrayed. So whether it's in social media, whether it's in those multi-level marketing schemes and all, right? So sometimes traders have doubts. The other part is, right, on social media, you'll have people who are just flaunting their riches, their wealth. They say, I bought this Lambo by trading, I bought this mansion by trading, and all of that. So then a lot of people, then they come in and think that they can also achieve that level of success, whether it's correct success or whether it's fake success or whatnot. Because remember, on social media, a lot of people will only show you what they want you to see. So a lot of people will post their successes but not their failures, right? So you want to be part of a community that strengthens this right here. This is the key. Again, trading is simple, trading is easy, but the hard thing you need to conquer is this, right? That's psychology. Again, there's a old African proverb that goes, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm. So if you've already conquered this, if there's no little demons in there telling you, oh, hey, let's go do this, let's go try and trade in order to get a Lambo. No, that's not a goal. I mean, sure, it's nice to say that I want to have a Lambo, I want to have a mansion and all of that. But without a proper plan, if you just come into trading and just expect to have a Lambo or a mansion in the next week, come on, you will almost likely just lose a lot of money and be mad at yourself and then start saying that trading is a scam and all of that. Now, so remember, we're still on psychology. So we've looked at, right, the information you have access to out there. Make sure it's not information. Make sure the information makes sense. Make sure that you've done your own research and validated that, hey, I have found this about trading. Is it true, right? You go and research out there and you come up with your own conclusion. Again, also avoid people or gurus out there on social media that just try to show their wins, right? Nobody has 100% win rate. Think of it. So even though somebody is making $50,000, $100,000, nobody has a 100% win rate. Even the big institutions, the banks, which are the biggest traders out there, institutions, they do not have a 100% win rate. So find yourself a community. And again, I would love you guys to join GA Trading Club. But if not GA Trading Club, but just make sure the community you're joining is objective. They're showing you that, hey, as much as we're making this, there are days that we also lose. So that what that does for you is that when you start trading, when you become a trader and you face losses, and those losses will come, losses are part of the game. That's what makes you learn. Think of it as the universe giving you feedback. So when you do start trading and you do have your losing days, sometimes it will be back-to-back losing days. You will know that, hey, this is part of the game. Because what happens if you join or you start trading with the mentality that you saw from those gurus that every day they're making $5,000, again, that should be a red flag, right? Some might be doing that, but again, you don't want to come with that mentality, because some of these traders, if they're legitimate, some of them, it took them 6 years, 7 years, even 10 years to be profitable, right? So if you're coming on day one and trying to compete with somebody who has 10 years worth of experience, you're probably not going to do as well, right? So find somebody who shows you, hey, it's not just about winning, right? I have my losing days, and then how do you handle your losing days so that when those losing days come for you, you will be like, this is normal, this is part of the process, and you won't be beating yourself up for losing or for losses. And again, I always say in trading there's only wins and there's feedback, right? So I don't consider losses as actually losing. The losses should be telling you something, should be giving you feedback. Hey, maybe you need to revisit that trade and see why it did not go your way. And sometimes, as much as a trade is valid, even the valid trades have a possibility of losing. So it might just not be your day. It might be maybe you need to improve on something. So find that and write it down, and then again, there will always be trades in future. So that's the other part. Sometimes when you have losses, and keep in mind, right, we're still on psychology here. Today is all about psychology. So when you lose, right? If even in other things out there in life, if you're losing, you have strong emotions, so you want to make it back, right? If you've lost something, even in the casino, right? You want to make that back. So more times than not, you go back in and maybe you go double or nothing or triple or nothing. But then it's that mentality that, hey, I don't, I want to get back. I want to always win. But if you conquer that ideology that you want to always win, when you take a loss and that's it for the day, you come back the next day, right? So again, make sure that you understand that losses are part of the game. Make sure you understand that conquering yourself, conquering your own psychology is one of the major keys. And also, comparing yourself. So, comparing yourself to others, that is fine. But make sure you're focusing more on comparing yourself to yourself. Because for me, that's the best measure. Right? Now, if you did not achieve X amount of goals in the last week, why would you be comparing yourself in the new week to somebody else? Why not compare yourself to the version of you that did not achieve this last week? And then you ask yourself, hey, why didn't I achieve this in the previous week? Then you sit down, you journal, and you write down, okay, maybe I was over leveraging. Maybe I was trading based off of emotions. And then you say, okay, this week, we are dealing with emotional trading, right? Remember, some dragons are so big to be slayed. But if you break down, if you need to work on 20 things, more times than not, you cannot be able to rectify or to adjust those 20 things in 1 week. So ask yourself, if I have 20 things that I need to work on or to improve on in trading, in the next week, if I had a magic wand and I had to choose 2 things in this list, what would I choose? And trust me, they will come out to you so quickly and they will just be screaming at you. So maybe it will be emotional trading. Maybe it will be over trading. Okay, then you say, in the next week, I will deal with emotional trading. I will deal with over trading. So when the next week comes, anytime you feel, so for example, if it's over trading, you ask yourself, okay, I've been taking 10 trades a day and I've been losing more than I'm winning. Okay, then maybe the idea here is that some of the setups you're taking are not quality setups. So then you say, okay, I have these strategies, and unless a trade aligns with this strategy, I am not taking that trade. Now, it might be difficult, right, on day 1, on day 2, because what overtrading does, it builds a culture, an internal culture of always wanting to be on the charts, always wanting to be in a trade, right? You always, so whether it's positive, whether a trade is in profit or is in a loss, you just want to see something going on the screen. So it might be difficult in the first days, but if you're like, okay, until that setup comes, and guess what? When that setup comes and like 2 days and 3 days, you just get that setup you're looking for, and you're taking those trades alone, you will also notice that the money or the profits that you're making by taking those fewer trades and valid trades, that are based on your strategies, those profits are far exceed the profits or even the losses that you're making by overtrading. And then you'll be like, okay, the next week you've conquered the dragon, the mini dragon of overtrading. So the other one is emotional trading, right? So an example of emotional trading, when, for example, you lose a trade, let's assume it was a valid trade, you want to go back in the market and say, no, let me trade again. I might get it back. And then for a lot of traders, remember, 90% of traders fail. We need to have that statistic in mind, because I'm a numbers person. So we don't want to really go against the universe, right? So if 90% of traders are failing, we do not want to be part of that. So that emotional trading, when somebody loses, as much as it can be a valid trade and you lost it, you want to go back in the market and say, no, I want to make it back. So you end up eroding and losing, because most of the times when you're trading based off of emotions, you don't care about your strategies. You're just going on impulse and hoping. Remember, hope is never a trading strategy. Hope is never a trading strategy. Strategies, you know them, you write them down, they have validations. That is what. So just saying, I hope it's going to go up, I hope it's going to go down, no. So you deal with those two, and then in the next week, you're like, oh, wait, this whole week, I haven't overtraded. This whole week, I haven't traded based off of emotions. Yes, I took some losses, but I didn't go back in the market and try to force the market to give me back my money, right? And guess what? You know what happens? You end up improving, and by the end of the next week, right? Remember, we're still in psychology here. By the end of the next week, you will be so proud of yourself. You will be so proud of yourself because you've accomplished this. You've conquered the dragon, or you've subdued the dragon of overtrading, of emotional trading. And then you can go next and say, okay, what other two things can I choose to deal with over the next week? And again, you'll find them. And guess what? In 1 month, in 2 months, in 3 months, you will have cleared out that whole list. And what you're doing here, all you're doing is changing your narrative, changing your trading narrative, focusing and saying that I am not repeating these 20 mistakes that I always do. Then what that does, after 6 months, you have, yes, maybe you may have some new demons or some new dragons to slay in the world of trading that maybe now you can start working on. Or sometimes you relapse, right? So we are all human, so we can always find ourselves going back to the issues or to the challenges we are having, but it will be easier to recoup from them because you'll be like, okay, why am I going back to this? And I already found a way out. So in 6 months, in 1 year, you will be a much better trader because you will have slayed what's holding you down, because you wrote it down, you identified it, you are brave enough, you are strong enough to admit that, hey, I don't know it all. I know there are things keeping me away from becoming successful. I wrote them down and I took action. So that right there, my friends, emotional trading, comparing yourself to other people. The trading narrative. What is your trading narrative? What is the ideology you have about trading? Those 3 things contribute to one major thing, right? Psychology, right here. Because again, trading is simple. Trading is easy. But that which is easy to do is also easy not to do. And when you conquer the dragon of psychology, when you conquer yourself, when you compare yourself to who you were yesterday and not to who somebody else is today, remember, by the yard, it's hard, but inch by inch, everything is ascension. And my message to you out there, whether you are a beginner trader, whether you're a professional trader, whether you're an intermediate trader, there is light at the end of the tunnel, because some of us are in this game, like I just told you guys, for 3 years. There are people who've been in this game for 7 years, for 8 years, and they're not yet profitable. And for a good amount of them who are still not profitable, I can guarantee that they really have not looked and assessed where am I going wrong, and actually found ways to take action and say, yes, I agree. This is all on me and I'm going to make that change. So if you're listening to this message and you're in your first year of trading, your second year, let's assume you're even in the fifth year of trading and you haven't found any breakthrough, sit down and write down be objective. Remember, right? It's just you by yourself. Sit down on your bed when there's nobody else and be honest to yourself, because at the end of the day, it everything comes down to when you're in bed, whether it's at night and you're alone, where you cannot hide anything. When you're out there, sure, you can try and portray a persona that's not really you, but be honest to yourself and say, why? Why am I not profitable? And write those things down and start working on them one after the other. And I am looking forward to, in 6 months, right? Put it down in the comments, bookmark this video, and come back and say, hey, I watched this and I followed this. But anyway, I'm looking forward to you guys joining GA Trading Club. It's been an amazing journey, and I can promise you guys that we are only going further from here. So there's going to be a lot of improvements along the way. The road is not going to be wide. The road is not going to be clear of obstacles. I know, right? Just as I said, like, losses are part of the game. So same thing as developing such a community, and that's where you come in. So if you're interested in seeing what we are all about, if you know somebody who can benefit from what we do or what I talk about regarding GA Trading Club and trading in general, or also life in general, because listen, one thing that's guaranteed is that in this life we are only passing by. So we just need to make an impact, because there's this statistic that during one's life, they're likely to meet about 1,000 people. And that means that you're one person away from 1,000,000 people, because if that person you met meets 1,000 people, right, you can have an opportunity to influence 1,000,000 people, and then also means you're 3 people away from 1,000,000,000 people. So for me, this journey with GA Trading Club is, even if it's one person that listens and takes heed and follows what we are talking about in life and in trading, who knows what or who can come out of such a community, right? They can become like one of the biggest trading gurus out there. They can run their own big financial company and then say, hey, without GA Trading Club or without X person, right, I wouldn't have done this. So for me, the goal is to assist a lot of people, as many people as I can, to become financially free. Because let me tell you, one thing, and I'm very passionate about this, life is not easy, and I know it wasn't meant to be easy, but there are people out there who are suffering. There are people out there who have no direction in life, not because they do not seek, but because they don't have the knowledge, they don't have the information. And for me, it's sensitizing people that it's not even about trading. There are other things out there, especially in this age of social media and the internet. There are other things out there that somebody can look up. And sure, you might not be that overnight success. It might be difficult seeing other people win and you're wondering, why doesn't it work for me? And it's not an easy road, but for me, it's that idea of being your brother's keeper, being somebody else's hand that they can hold, and you're pulling them up and you're saying, let's walk on this journey together. But before I go much deeper than that, find the links down below. In the description, you'll find a link to our Discord, where that's a community that we interact with. You'll also find a link to a Google Sheet that tracks the returns for the trades, for some of the trades we take, like for example in the live sessions that I do daily, or some of the trades that I do send in the Discord. So whether you trade crypto, whether you trade stocks, whether you trade commodities, whether you trade forex, indices, find the links down in the description for joining our Discord. That is where we interact as a community. You'll find all sorts of interactions there. We talk about trading. We even talk about other things in there. We share memes and all that good stuff. And also, the other link you'll find down below is also to a spreadsheet that tracks our returns for the trades, for some of the trades that we do take on the live sessions, and I run the live sessions every day. and also some of the trades I send to the members in the groups. And again, you don't have to be a beginner, you don't have to be a professional trader, you don't have to be an intermediate trader. Hey, you don't even have to be a trader to join GA Trading Club. Again, a free community. Come in, see if there's something in there that you can pick up that can help you in this journey of life. But anyway, until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.